Hello, everybody. Welcome to Kitchen Meta, or the Bridgeman Show, or whatever you want to call it. I'm back after a hectic last week where I didn't get a chance to stream, but today we are going to be looking at playing Apoc Anarch. Or more specifically, I think, Apoc Hoshiko, but the door is open for, I guess, any kind of Apoc for this stream. Before going into what we want to do in the current meta, I wanted to do my classic thing of talking about the concept in general, and also look at what has been Apoc Anarch in the past and why. Let me pull up the chat and stuff. Hey guys, how's it going? So yeah, for me, and I think 2019 was really the year where Apoc Anarch really picked up steam. I think it was at a time where a lot of the Nisei or Null Signal now, their cards had not even been released yet. You only had the old FFG ones, but rotation had hit pretty recently, and a lot of what used to be really powerful was gone. And I think that was when this started to really be heavily played. Yeah, you could try to convince me to play more jank in the Apoc, I guess, today. Or I mean, I don't know, if I'm feeling really frisky, I might try something else. But as far as I'm concerned right now, the stream is fully Apoc oriented. But yeah, so these decks started popping up when basically the other busted runners that have used to dominate were gone. So suddenly you didn't have all those tools, and this, I think people sort of figured out that, or at least, some people figured out that basically playing Apoc is a pretty nice general way to deny your opponent. I mean, it's a very straightforward general game plan that could win against basically every deck archetype. Playing it out of Val, so the basic premise is, of course, you have Apocalypse to reset the corpse board. Resets your own board, but in Apoc decks, you try to not play a lot of things that cost you a lot of things to commit to the board, so that you don't really lose that much when Apocing. You mainly lose your bin breakers, and that's another thing. You only have to install your bin breakers if they rest their eyes, and if you really need to get in because you're trying to do the Apocalypse. And you can actually delay the Apocalypse until they try to score. So you can put them in a position where you make them commit the most amount of resources possible before you Apocalypse them. Sometimes you can do it preemptively if you think they might get to a point where they can stop you from playing Apocalypse. But yeah. So you could reset the eyes of Glacier decks. You could reset the entire board of asset decks as well. And you are sort of forcing every deck, whatever it is, to take care of their central servers and not neglect defending them. Now, back in 2019, you could do some really crazy stuff because you had DDoS, which meant that you just Well, you pop this, they can't rest the outermost piece of ice on any server. So any server, um, when you're trying to APOC that didn't have more than one ice, the ice cannot be rest at all. So even if there was already a layer of ice, DDoS completely ignored that and made it so it was really hard for the opponent to set up enough ice to actually stop you from APOCing. Like you needed like you could do it in a few ways, but it was really hard. Like you could have Crisium grids and you could have border controls, but then again, like how much do you want to play around the Apoc threat when other decks are also good in the meta? Like there was a very popular Freedom list where playing something like Crisium grid would basically do not to do anything. Yeah, so it was hard to stop Apoc. DDoS made it even worse. You had crazy cards like Inject in Anarch that just dig for cards really quickly and Rebirth to switch Val into Omar, which means that the downside of having an identity that only triggers at the start of the game is mitigated by Rebirth. Now I played a funky list with Mining Accident. That was maybe suspicious, but it worked out. And you could also play Utopia Shard to limit the amount of cards left in your opponent's hand after you do the Apoc, so you still had some game against different kinds of combo decks. So all in all, also hacktivist meeting for CTM. So to Jay Mary in the chat, sure you could play CTM and stuff, but in my experience, CTM is not by any means like an auto win against Apoc. I actually think it's quite hard for CTM to win against it because it's hard to force the Apoc. You have to sort of have a remote that's expensive enough for them to get into to force the Apoc. Of course, you can score Ares and stuff, and that's the main thing that you want to prevent as the Apoc player, so that when you go for the Apoc, you don't have a bunch of tags. Now, of course, as the Apoc player, you can play around this in a few ways, maybe by getting extra clicks. If you end your turn on only one tag, maybe it's not that bad. But yeah, like back in the day, you could even play hacktivist meeting, so they had to trash a bunch of cards just to rest their assets, which was crazy. Of course, they could score Ares to get rid of this, but yeah, if you check for the Ares and have the hacktivist meeting, then it's kind of hard to get out of. Yeah, so this was a crazy good deck because he had a lot of busted cards. I think Inject was crazy, DDoS, Utopia Shard, and Rebirth were all like incredibly high value cards, making this a very generically strong deck. Then Apoc wasn't doing that well for a long time, but of course, I had to save the day, not to toot my own horn too much, but no. So back in, what was it, 2021, 2 years after bringing Apoc to Worlds, I brought Apoc to Worlds again, and also some of my team members. This was something that came up because in that meta, sports metal was really big. The Blame Changer list was everywhere, and also PD was everywhere. And it was actually really hard to build a runner, it seemed, that deals with both the fast advance threat and speed of sports, that can also deal with the Skunk Void play of PD. And here with the Apoc list, it was kind of came together brilliantly, because against PD, if they try to build one of the remotes with Skunk Void, you can just Apoc them. It was really hard for them to stop Apocs at all. It wasn't expensive for you to force the rest on the remote ice and then going for an Apoc, so you force them to commit the maximum amount of money, and then you Apoc their board. If they don't ice R&D after the Apoc, you can always Stargate them. There are crazy things like this. Max could mill your own out of the ashes to give you extra clicks and so on. Another neat thing here to note is Aesop's Pawn Shop. Not like Sokka, for example, didn't want to play this card for APAC. He played another Out of the Ashes instead. But yeah, this is a thing that I always consider whether or not to put in the APOC lists, and I found that this does a few things that I really like. So first of all, it turns your it turns all the breakers that you turn face down or whatever other card into money. Actually, yeah, it was 2021 when the Blame Changer meta was really big and PD had been really big. Like I had done well with PD in Store Champs. I was practicing for Euros. This was actually when I started practicing seriously with Sokka for the first time, and Brandon the King, and what ended up leading to them joining our team. That's like how I really got to know those guys. And I was working on this APOC list, and they liked it as well, and Sokka ended up bringing it to APAC and winning the event. And it actually, I think, yeah, the crazy thing about that was across those, like my run in Euros and his run in APAC, it didn't drop a single game from between the two of us. So I posted this kind of smug clickbaity title where it says undefeated 10-0. But this list was really crazy because the max it gave the incredible amount of speed that you needed to beat these decks, because you got your breakers really fast. So you get your breakers into the bin as fast as possible, and then it just becomes a matter of having enough money to get into things. And basically, almost all the rest of your deck is just dedicated to having another source of money and draw, basically, with some tools like Out of the Ashes to get extra clicks or whatever. And also Rebirth for Omar when you need to, and also in Max, of course, when you run out of cards, you could have a labor rights to start recycling, which meant, well, a lot of crazy things. Like if you just needed the money, you could just get your liberated accounts back, but there were, so many options here. So this was a crazy list. Apocalypse. Yeah, well, the thing was, like, it was probably a futile attempt, but basically we were trying to keep it on the down low for Euros as well. So he didn't even post the the deck list at the time. But I felt like people would still know about it, so my corp ended up actually teching against the runner that I had brewed. But yeah, anyway, back to Aesop's Pawn Shop. I'm going off on tangents. I hope people are not bored with it. But so the Aesop's Pawn Shop, you turn your board face down, and you might have some stuff on the board, maybe a daily cast that tick to 2 credits, maybe a liberated account with 4 credits left, and all the breakers that you installed, they will be turned down by the Apocalypse. So you might have 2 or 3 cards lying around after, or 1 Apoc, or maybe less, but over time, if you Apoc once more, which you often did with this deck, you're essentially controlling the game state, then you Apoc to reset it when it's sort of getting out of hand, or you think you need to Apoc. And eventually you build up a lot of cards, and then you drop the Aesops, and you have like a triple Reseki. And not only that, there was, what's that card again that removes cards from the graveyard? Arc Lockdown. Yeah, so there's Arc Lockdown was actually a thing in the meta. So people could remove your bin breakers from the game. But a way to get around that is to sort of try to force them to rest their eyes before they could Arc Lock down all your bin breakers. So you get to install the breakers. Then when you Apoc, you turn the breakers face down. And then if they Arc Lock down, you could actually trash the face down breaker to get it back. So that was kind of a really cool thing that actually came up in some games. This Aesops in this deck was like better than Blue Moves, but it was delayed gratification because you can't just play it right away. You played it like at the very end where you've been patiently controlling the board, letting them build up, and then Apocing them, letting them build up, Apocing them. It's really a control deck. And then at the very end, when they think you might be running out of steam, you drop down the Aesop's Pawn Shop, and suddenly you have something that's better than a blue moose, and they can usually just concede because they realize that they can't tax you out anymore. Now, I was basically the only one who stuck to the pawn shop, but I really liked it for these reasons. So yeah, Ba, shout out to Ba in the chat. Yeah, yeah, as long as the tangents are fine, then I'm gonna be going off on tangents. That's for sure. But also because there's a lot of memories with these lists. Like this was the biggest thing for me during 2021 was creating this Apoc Max and playing it, and the Apoc Val, a lot of good memories from that as well, as I did really well in at Worlds with that. But both of these decks, very powerful for their times. Now, of course, as mentioned, like you can try to deal with Apoc by attacking in a few ways. Like you can put Crisium grids and stuff. But yeah, often there's a trade-off between trying to be safe against Apoc and trying to be good against the rest of the field. So oftentimes people try to get away with not that much tech, and then you can Apoc them. With these lists, they just had so many resources that even with the tech, it was kind of hard, which I think is what really gave them their staying power. Now, depending on the Apoc deck, so a big difference between these two, the Val, you have a 50 card deck and you're not milling yourself. So you're way more resistant against Jinteki decks that try to do like 1,000 cuts kind of style to run you out of cards. Whereas with the Max, that would have been a real problem if people were going really hard on net damage. But the fact was, in this meta, basically no one was playing that. Or I mean, some people were trying that, but it was pretty rare. And so yeah, so it was sort of okay to play this because you were kind of very unlikely to see this. And it was like very good in every other matchup, is what I felt. So one of the games that I dropped in Worlds was actually against a Jinteki deck. Yeah. All right, so that's the history of Apoc. You're a bit weak against net damage, of course. You can lose your apocalypses from your hand. Other problems may be if they can sort of force you to Apoc before you want to. We were talking a little bit about the threat from CTM to play Ares, to score Ares, and there are other ways in the game you can try to do that. Also, your breakers can be inefficient and expensive to use sometimes, so ice like Mausolus can be a problem. But today we are trying to recreate Apoc, which I'm definitely not the first to do. Other people have been doing it in this meta. But we're gonna go like straight off the top of the dome, except the fact that, I mean, I have played a lot of Apoc before. But one thing that I've never really got into that people were trying to do after Max rotated is playing Apoc Hoshiko. And I think this is the next best thing. Like the other IDs, Hoshiko is just the most generally value ID. The only problem is, of course, you can, when you run out of cards with Hoshiko, she doesn't do anything anymore. But yeah, we're trying to brew Apoc. So basically, it's just gonna construct an Apoc deck from intuition. And see how it works. Now, of course, we know we won't find our breakers as fast as when we're playing Max. And we also have the problem that, the same problem that Max would have, that you run out of cards in your deck. But in Max, you solve that by rebirthing and also by playing labor rights. So actually getting to the end of your deck was a good thing a lot of the time. Whereas with Hoshiko, if you play the labor rights, there's this problem that, well, yeah, you can play the labor rights, but you're not reaching the end of your deck as fast as Max was. So how often do you actually get to play the labor rights in a way where it gets the full value? So yeah. So interesting question from Ba. How do you feel about Katorga as a an Apoc card. So for those who don't remember, that's this event that lets us run any server, and if it's successful, we can add a card from our heap to our grip. And of course, this is sort of, I guess the idea is you run somewhere, but your Apoc gets trashed because of net damage or whatever. And then you play Katorga on maybe archives that is not iced as your last run for the turn, and you get the Apoc back, and then you can play it and blow up the board. Thing is, this stream, I'm just like revisiting Apoc after not having played it for a long time. So I'm not sure how I feel about this yet, but this could be a good idea. I don't know if it is because it's so expensive. But still, it could be a really good card because if you have 2 extra copies of this, it's essentially like 2 extra Apocs in your deck. And as Dust Magnet points out in the chat, you can also play Running Hot, which might trash your Apoc, and then you can get it back with Katorga as well. Which a classic downside of playing a card like Running Hot to get you those extra clicks to get through whatever tech they have. Like if you're up against Ag or something, they're trying to stop you from Apocing by using their ID, redirecting you to a server. Well, you get the extra clicks, and you make the run again to make sure you get that successful run. But you might lose the Apoc that you have in your hand when you take the core damage. So, Katorga can help us with that. So maybe that's something we will explore now, but I don't know yet. I'm sort of gonna brew this as we go. So let's skip the tech for now. So let's start with the obvious pieces. Okay, so the obvious stuff is like triple Apocalypse, of course. You're playing an Apoc deck. You're going for triple Apocalypse, okay? That's final. So, so Bas says, at UK Nets you were on a spicy rip deal. I don't think I was. Maybe, who was playing Apoc? I think that was that Arndt? Maybe. Might have been Arndt, might have been Brandon. I actually don't remember. Yeah, so Apoc as seems a bit counterintuitive to me because you sort of, I don't know, the core damage makes it more likely that you lose your Apoc, and also core damage means you have a smaller hand, so it makes it harder to actually Apoc against Jinteki decks. Like you hit a snare and they're basically guaranteed to trash your Apoc. And if you play a card like Marrow, well, when you Apoc, you're gonna turn it face down and then lower your hand size again. So I'm not sure. I think the general value of Hoshiko is better, but that's just my feeling. So let's start with the obvious ones. So Apocalypse, Dirty Laundry, Sure Gamble, of course. Daily Cast, really good card. What are other good cards? Fermenter is a good value card, and you can pop it before you go for the Apoc. So we want bin breakers, of course, and the question is just the amount of bin breakers. So oftentimes you play like 3 of each, because you want to get them down as quickly as possible, and you can moshing them. Something like this. There's the new card, of course, Raindrops Cut Stone, which could be a really nice card, especially against decks with net damage. Like you could play this, run a server, let the subs fire, and then draw a bunch of cards and find your Apoc, and then go for the Apoc, basically. Yes, other ideas. Yeah, so Steelskin, of course, is a pretty obvious pick. And the question is what to do with the remaining influence. I like playing Deuces Wild. Used to be Career Fair was good, but now you don't have the DDoS anymore, so I think Career Fair is not as good as it used to be. So Deuces Wild. There's the question of Aesop, but I'm gonna try a version without Aesop. Yeah, of course, someone in the chat is pointing out Stargate. I think you need at least I think 2 Stargates is probably correct. And Pinhole is a decent card to basically get rid of a Crisium Grid or something, so that you can get the Apoc off. Now GJ Fenris is another thing. You can make it into Sable to. Yeah, I'm not totally sold on Fenris actually, but we can try it. Actually, I'm wondering now if I want the ace up. Maybe I do want the ace up and skip the Fenris. So the Fenris can give extra clicks, which is cool. But yeah, if they ice HQ and we're trying to get Steve value, we're not really doing it until we're apocing probably, if they just put an ice there. But let's try Fenris and see how he feels, and let's skip the ace up for now. Yeah. I think it was a lot better in Max, because then you could just pitch it until you won a labor rights. Now we have 4 more slots, so maybe we want a card that isn't Fenris that gives us extra click. So maybe 1 Running Hot to, if we're playing against Ag Infusion or something, to nail those Apocs. And yeah, I might be missing something obvious here, but I feel like Liberated Account is a good include, just for some extra cash. Yeah, Jeremy in chat just pointed it out. So Liberated Account. Something like this looks like a pretty standard Apoc Anarch list, and could work nicely. Now the question is just, of course, is it well positioned in the meta? But we don't care about that. We're just trying to make the list right now, and then we'll worry about things like that later. Yeah, let's try a list like this. You could add like Earthrise Hotel or something, but moshing Hoshiko and Steelskin is a decent amount of draw. So let's act as if that is enough. So we just call this Apoc Hosh, and then we're gonna try this. But before we do, I'm gonna take a very short break, so I'll be back in like a minute. See you very soon. All right, I am back, but also I realized I do want a copy of Mad Dash in here, so we need to cut something. Because we have both Stargate and we can Apocalypse away their agendas. I feel there should be a mad dash for those matchups where our opponent is going for only 3-pointers, like 6 agendas Mari, something like that, to make it so we don't have to find 3 agendas. So let's put a mad dash in and let's take something out. And that's something. Yeah, what is the worst card in the deck? I feel like it's either one copy of Raindrops or a copy of Liberated. I'm gonna cut a Liberated and see how that feels. Haven't played around with Raindrops a lot, but I feel like it's a nice card, especially in Apoc, because you play it early to force Resist on the remote. And it also works when you're on the Apoc turn, so that seems pretty nice. So yeah, I'm gonna try that. Let me pull up chat again. Oh, wait, minusing the Stargates. This is madness. Oh, we need 2 Stargates. I think we need 2 Stargates because. Oh, so I wasn't talking about this before in detail, but the reason that the Max did so well, and actually it looked like this before, basically the difference between the Worlds list and the Euros list is I was playing 3 Stargate in Euros and 2 Fermenter, and then it swapped in the Worlds list. And the reason for this is you play the 3 Stargates to deal with really fast decks, especially fast advance, because you're not playing Clot, so you're trying to control what they draw. A Stargate like prevents them from getting the combo pieces that they need to score out of hand. You can also just trash their agendas, and this is a really important point because this is how you win against decks like, well, the Outfit and Sports and so on. You don't have another way to sort of control them. If you're only on single axis, you're sort of screwed. So in those matchups, you want to make sure that you get it, and I think you need at least 2 for that to be the case if we're up against that kind of deck. So I'm going with 2, and then let me just host the game before I respond to J Mary over here. So we gotta go to the deck builder. Oh, whoops. guess I can't use that Smurf anymore. That's a special for everybody here. So we log in here. That's shows the importance of being properly prepared. Oh, it's not capitalized. To ban, I would not consider finality. Yeah, I don't see why you need it. Like, you have Stargate for the multi-axis, and you don't want to be taking core damage. So no, I would just not be doing that. Yeah, so to J Mary. Wait, I'll host the game first. And Apoc Hosh. Okay, we got a game right now. So yeah, we aren't running labor rights again. That could be a mistake, but oh, it's an inactive game. So we are not running labor rights because I think it's just gonna be dead early in the game, and we're not sure if we're even gonna reach the bottom of our deck. So yeah, for that reason, I'm trying it without labor rights, and we're gonna see how it feels. All right, so usually this is some kind of glacier. And yeah, is this keepable? We don't really want the pinhole and the running hot right now. So I feel like we can mulligan this. We get 2 pinholes instead. All right. And also let me full screen. And I could zoom in a little bit. All right. Oh, I forgot to write that it's a stream game. I hope that's fine with them. Yeah, so I want to get this out of here. Oh, it is a bacterial. That's interesting. So they could dump another agenda in here and then basically punitive me, I suppose. Or was that re-ruled how that works? If you add new cards during the encounter, yeah, you're supposed to access all of them. Yeah. So, but I guess that's not what they're going for. So I'm trying to figure out now if I die to punitive. So we're gonna be at 10. We can be at 13. Yeah, so if I install the liberated instead, so I could click for 3. Could click for 3 and be at 13. Punitive is trace 5. So Hansei puts them at 17. That's the maximum. So you can punitive for 3. That's trace 5, and then you need to boost by 9. So that's 12 credits. 11 if I'm at 1 below. Okay, so I feel like I should survive with this. Just installing the liberated and clicking twice. If I'm wrong, then so be it, but hedge fund. Okay, yeah, so yeah, it was not a punitive. That was strange. Maybe he was hoping to get punitive, but just didn't get it. It's kind of a risky play. Deuces. Can draw 2. And we can click this down. So Hoshiko flips back, get an orchestra in the bin. Well, does triple counter strike really do more? I guess because I would have to match the trace on the first one. I'm not sure about that. I don't think so. I don't think there was enough money. Okay, so I'm reading this as a spin doctor. So I think it's better to check archives because I get the accesses at the same time. Unless it's bait to get me to access some stuff. Okay. Okay, so now we know there is punitive. We know there's Urtica Cipher in the deck as well. We need more breakers to be able to get into servers, so I'm gonna draw. Ooh, Raindrops Got Stone is interesting. But yeah, it's hard to do anything before I have the breakers for it. So do I check that card? Do we just assume it's... I feel like I assume it's a trap now. If it was... Yeah, draw another one. Okay, install cast is fine. Pitch another orchestra. So to Diogen, about independent thinking, that is true, but my preferred method is just to play Aesop's Pawn Shop. I think that's the best way. Now here I'm curious if I just Raindrops Cut Stone on the remote and accept whatever net damage there is. We can force some reses and get some draw out of it. Yes, we could lose the Apoc, but we need to see our breakers before Apocing anyway, I think. So I'm gonna try to go for that. So we can get hit by whatever here. Ooh, event. Yeah, so we might actually die to this size and 10. Oh, we did. Okay, maybe a bit too risky, but that was actually kind of, I think, the only ice that we can even die to like that. Okay, we learned a lesson. Gotta respect the size and 10. Okay, let's create a new one and let's specify that it's streaming. All right, cool. So PE, wow, that's just mean. he knows what I'm playing. No, but it's not necessarily that bad against PE. But yeah, it could be really tricky, especially if House of Knives is scored to get any Apocs off. So he is asking me to Apoc him. I don't know if is it, I guess it's too early. I think it's too early. I'm not sure. Like, you could Apoc here, but it costs you the whole turn plus the 3 credits and your Apoc. I think I'd rather wait for a turn. So we draw first. Then we go HQ. Regenesis. Okay, we lose the Apoc. Can't Apoc anymore. Then we might as well draw. So Regenesis makes me think it's the cornered animal stylist that I was playing for Worlds. When these were installed, it sort of made me think it was more of a the asset spam style. And that makes me wonder if I should check a remote here. Because there could be a House of Knives somewhere that we want to get. Yeah, we got the time, right? We can check. House of Knives. There we go. We're so good at this game. Check another one. Hokusai. So he hits the steel skin. And I think we probably don't trash this, and then we try to go for Apoc instead. Okay, last one was Rashida. If we pay the 4 credits, I mean, we get to trash it for free if we get to Apoc. So let's just hope that we get to Apoc instead. Apoc, yeah, Apoc does have a tendency to get sniped. Okay, installing a card. I'm gonna go ahead and read that one as a Kusanagi. Yeah, we have a lot of dead draws. And in order to not make that situation worse, I figure we just gamble and click for 2. And we can pitch an MK. Okay, it was just Spin Doctor. Nice on R&D. Okay, so this looks like an Apoc-worthy board. I think I'd start by checking HQ. So I could pinhole the Hokusai, but then I actually have to pay the trash cost. I think it's better to hope that the Hokusai does not hit the Apoc. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, it didn't, so that's great. Card from hand is a Spin Doctor. Yeah, we don't want to spend money on that, I guess. No, it would just be... Yeah, it could still be shuffled back by the other Spin Doctor. So better to do it after, I think. And let's check R&D. Diviner could be a problem, but it's not Diviner. Data loop. Okay, so this include I feel like I have to disagree with, but doesn't matter, I guess. Yeah, so he's gonna think before Apoc. All right, there we go. Nice. Okay, we got the first Apoc off. We got 2 Hokusais that were rest, an ice, maybe an agenda in the remote. So I think that's worthwhile. Okay, hybrid release. Losing a pinhole is okay. So I'm gonna guess that this is the Spin Doctor. And if that's the case, he's gonna pop it before we access it. Which I kind of want, because I want Hoshiko to flip back now so we can get the credit value. But in case it's something else, I might draw first. Okay, time to run it now, I think. Oh, it was Rashida. I mean, that's a worthwhile trash, so that's okay. Steel Skin is nice, and we just installed the daily cast. So we're kind of looking for a Stargate now. And I'm sort of glad that I kept Fenris in the deck to get Apocs back, because we already have lost 2 Apocs. Okay. So against Jinteki, I sort of don't want to play moshing on just random cards. Or not random cards, but yeah, losing hit points. But it might actually be worth it here to speed up my game. So I think I will go for it. Is that my Mad Dash is guaranteed to hit? Well, if there's an agenda. Um, there is Mad Dash. I'm not gonna Mad Dash and assume there was an agenda, even though there probably was an agenda. I feel like it's okay to let him Spin Doctor away whatever was there. Okay, I still think this is a Spin Doctor, so let's pretend that it is. Okay. Now it is. I guess that was a mistake. I should just check archives. Because I actually want to access the card with Hoshiko, so there's a little bit of a mistake there. So I don't want to lose the Liberated, so I'll install that before checking archives. Oh, and there's a Warroid tracker as well. Okay. So it could be a Keeling list with Warroid tracker. Yeah, these lists are like, they're merging into one another, so sometimes it's like just a mix between all of the different strange lists that have popped up. So here I wonder, this looks maybe like something that should be checked. Yeah, Warroid tracker probably means there's no Nightmare archives, and it probably means, well, it could also mean like no stock buyback and stuff, but I don't know that for sure. So Orchestra before running might be a good idea. Maybe need to hit this once to have enough cash. Archer. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, that's crazy. But, okay, so we gotta think here, right? So paying to get through this Archer is expensive. For MK Ultra, it's 1, 2, 3. It's 12 credits plus the install. It's literally 14 credits. So we can choose between our 14 credits and keeping Fermenter and Black Orchestra, which have a value of, I don't know, 5. Well, it's really 12 because we get the MK. So 12 credits versus losing these, giving him 2 credits. Honestly, it doesn't even seem worth it to break here. I think I'll just let him fire. It's too. I don't think I could justify paying that much just to break this Archer and check what this is. So we kind of want to dig for the Apoc to get rid of this Archer. Or Fenris. That's another way to get through. Okay, so now I'll try to learn from my mistake and check archives with Hoshiko. Before drawing, because we might draw into Apoc, and then if there's like a Kusanagi or something in here, then we could lose that card. Oh, it's letting us steal the stings. Okay. So is there a sting in the remote then? We still don't die to that. So we could draw and hit the Liberated. And we shouldn't die to this. Fenris, yeah, we want Fenris or Apoc. Yeah, so now could be a scenario where we check the Spin Doctor because we want Hoshiko to flip back. So let's do it that way. Okay, shuffles Hansei, Hokusai. Alright, that's fine. Oh, Keeling. Yeah, so we have to pitch something. I mean, okay, we can still get in. Yeah, but these decks are really annoying. So Keeling and like Warrior Tracker or something. It's probably Warrior Tracker. We can click these down and then hit this. Oh, actually, one really cool play we can do is let the trash programs fire to get cards. So we can hit these down, Raindrops Caught Stone on this, but not break the trashing the installed programs. So we lose the MK, but we get 2 cards. And our hand size is going to be back up, so that seems good. Yeah, we can't just wait for this to tick down because it makes it really hard to Apoc. Okay, so no, fuck. Misclick. This happens all the time. So, yeah, MK. We break, and we break this and that. So we breach, and this should be a Warroid, I guess. But we don't really care about it. And we can trash the Keeling. There we go. And now we got a Stargate, we have all the breakers. We might not even need the Apoc, because Stargate can just end the game here, potentially. Yeah, so protecting the other service, but neglecting R&D a little bit. So we can try to hit R&D now. Data loop. Okay. Yes, we put 2 cards back. I guess, I don't know, paperclip? Paperclip moshing. So if we hit an oboe, it should be game. We do hit an oboe. But there could be Spin Doctor. No, actually, there can't. So this is game, yeah. It has to be game. Okay, GG. Interesting deck. With the Archer, that really caught me off guard. All right, cool game. So I guess we have a little bit of game against this style of PE. It's nice because you don't need to assemble a whole board, so you're not spending that many cards for your overall gameplay, and you can just focus on getting money and apocing and stargating, which is enough sometimes. All right, another quick break, and I'll be right back with more of this. Welcome back, everybody. We are playing against this guy, I guess. Just gonna ask if it's okay that I stream. It's my new routine, because okay, good. Yeah, because sometimes I do take a lot of time making decisions. Also, people might not want to be on stream and stuff, so yeah, trying to consider that. This hand looks good. Just economy, a little bit of draw. Kind of what you need against the outfit, I think. So we keep. We drink some tea. It's a very important part of the game plan. Okay, so we want to be careful about our credit total. So if we dirty laundry, we go to 8. If we install and hit liberated after that, we hit it twice. We go to 10, we go to 12 after we flip. So double econ is a problem. Double econ HHN is a problem. But single econ is not a problem. But we could just wait for a turn to not risk anything. So I think we wait for a turn and we fermenter. So next turn can be laundry, triple click the liberated, and we are out of the woods in terms of econ HHN threats. This is the above the law trying to snipe the the liberated, right? I guess some outfits play snare, so maybe what we might want to draw before laundering here. Maybe that's not too bad. So we go to. I guess we could lose like the 4 credits if it's an above the law, but that's an okay risk, I think. So we could draw. We go to 4 cards. We go to 6 credits. Yeah, we should have enough. So we laundry R&D. Ooh, that's that's a good hit right there. That's why I'm so good at this game. This yeah, sometimes you just get lucky. It was the above the law. I was a minor hit, a minor hit. But she's so low on cash. This is a really good position. She can't threaten any HHN plays. Also, against outfit, before we get our breakers, Raindrops Cut Stone should be amazing. So I think we want to keep it, so we don't want to moshing yet. I kind of want to moshing now, rather than waiting for a turn. We could get a Stargate that we could use, or something else. Nope. So we just run R&D, I think. Damn, we're good. We're so good. Yeah, pure skill. Finally got the Apoc, but we don't have a fracture. That's a problem. Yes, I'm adept when it comes to accessing agendas. Okay. So we just steal skin, right? Because we want to find the paperclip really badly. And then we moshing again because we want to find the paperclip really badly. 1, 2. I guess a Raindrops we can, or maybe a sure gamble even. Raindrops are kind of nice for the Apoc turn potentially. Oh no clip still. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, I want to pop the fermenter now. But what else do I do? Just install the Fenris for extra click or something? I'm not sure. Because we have like all the money and stuff we need. Like we have all the resources, we just need the specific cards. So now clip and later Stargate. So this is a problem that the Apoc Max did not have. You got your breakers incredibly fast. It wasn't really a question whether you would find them or not. But with Hoshiko, it actually is. So yeah, that's kind of a problem. Yeah, so I could Raindrops Cut Stone on R&D. In case there's Bulwark, I pop this beforehand, I think. Very nice. That's perfect, actually. There's no clip. Yeah. Is it Raindrops on HQ then? Okay, so we can let this fire and get 2 cards. I think that's good. Right? Right. Still no clip. That's sad. Yeah, that's really bad. Is it like Raindrops Cut Stone on archives then? Yeah, I guess we flip the Hoshiko if they don't res. So that we don't need more cash, so we can pitch the fermenter. Yeah, but we can't Apoc. Oh, actually, we could Apoc next turn if... Yeah, so this is the problem. Like, if you don't get the Stargate in time, then you can't stop the fast advance. Okay. So we draw... So we have the Stargate, but we don't have a way to get through this. So we want to draw more. Kaggle's Cup, that's a good point. I should have just Raindrops HQ. Yeah, that was a mistake. No, wait, I could... Yeah, either that or just the Bulwark. Like, you will gain 2 credits, but I draw 3, which seems good. Oh, thank God, right? There we get a clip. Okay, so what do we actually do? Installing Daily Cast doesn't make sense because we want to Apoc. Could laundry archives to check for agendas. I don't know that makes sense, but if it's... so if it's Trebuchet, we're still fine with it. Yeah, let's just go. And pitching the Liberated, I think we have enough cash. Yeah, there's a question here if you even I don't know that you even Apoc here. Because it's not that expensive to get into R&D, and it's a way more pressing problem. I guess Apocing stops potential ice reses. We could pinhole this to check that they're not scoring out. Okay, so we can pinhole archives. Okay, Rashida, so we don't need to do anything about that. There's a problem though. Apocing here means we turn the paperclip face down. Has to be considered. Oh, okay, so we know about magnets. Mikey Moose, I have like almost 50 credits plus the bad pub. I feel like there's no way to run out of money, right? So we break this. Okay, so there's Bulwark in hand. And we know, yeah, and we know there will be magnet as well. So we Apoc this. Yeah, unless there's like, yeah, there can't be an Audacity top deck into score, so we are safe. We can deuces first to draw cards. And then we Apoc. All right. Good. So she's drawing. Ice HQ. Okay. Drawing after icing HQ. So that seems wrong. Bulwark can't be rest with this amount of money. So I think we want to run HQ regardless, but we also want to be stargating. We could start with the stargates in case there's lethal. Too big to fail. Makes scoring regulatory captures easier. We could run back in again and trash the spin. Also makes Bulwark restable, which we want to stop. Okay, so let's hope that there's no game in hand yet. There could be, but okay, Spin Doctor. Econ Warfare. So is Mikey Moose gonna be proven right? Yeah, we're keeping that exactly. We're keeping them under 4 bad pub. Yeah, I still think we don't run out of credits. Okay, now we have the paperclip as well. So I think to be sure I install the paperclip before stargating. And we basically hope that the Stargate lock is enough. Hostile takeover. Yes, we can pitch that. And yeah, I guess we can check HQ. So Magnet, yeah, it doesn't do a whole lot because, okay, Econ Warfare. So we know they're gonna draw Rashida. They already have a Rashida. Probably Bulwark on R&D, and we know about an Econ Warfare. Okay. So yeah, I don't think there's a way for them to fast advance out here. Next card is Magnet. So we are actually running out of money. Sort of. But so is she. Okay, so there should be Magnet on top now. And yeah, this ice probably is not resible. We have econ cards left. There's one sure gamble. Liberators are gone. Yeah, we can just Stargate. Wait, did they draw a card? Oh, they did. Okay. Border Control, Hordem, Afshar. I don't know which one is the most annoying to deal with. Hoard'em is 3 to break, Afshar 3 to break, border control is 2. So I guess Afshar. It's cheaper to res. Yeah. And do we click for credits then? There's a gamble left, there's a laundry left. Maybe I'm doing things in the wrong order here. So we still know about 2 Rashidas in hand and a magnet, so there's no way to score out. Even if there's an agenda. So yeah, I think we just click for credits here. So they should draw border control now. And this is why taking notes is important, because you can track your opponent's hand like this. Okay, just taking money. Probably bulwark on R&D. So running hot here could make sense, especially if we hit the steel skin. Nice. Yeah, so we Stargate. And there's the GFI. That's game. All right, good game. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, border control, I mean, does eat a Stargate run, but like can they really afford to be resting a border control and then using it just to stop, you know, just to stop one run with Stargate? You can repeat it next turn. I mean, then it really only matters if they're about to win on the very next turn. Okay, let's do another one. Okay. Bad blood. Another PE trying to punish me. Fenris is nice, but typically want to Apoc before the Fenris, and you wanna start by accelerating your game plan, which I guess only the Fermenter is doing. Kind of the steel skin, because you can run things and get your cards back. So I'll mulligan this. Want more useful pieces in the starting hand. Okay, another list spamming cards on the board. Yeah, so question again is like, what kind of PE this is. What's up, Jai? Well, so to okay, I'll do my turn and then I'll respond to Yoon. Okay. Yeah, I could like laundry a random card here. Of course, you risk hitting Spin Doctor. Which is frustrating. Yeah, I think you check here. At least one of the cards. Rashida, okay. Okay, it's a Keeling deck. And see if this is an agenda. Bladderwort. You can actually fire spin even if Archives is empty, just to shuffle your deck. I think with the old rules you couldn't do it, but I'm pretty sure with the current ones you can. Yeah, so icing the Keeling. Yeah, we just want to get our liberated out and flip back the Hoshiko. Well, to Yoon, yeah, so my logic was that... we need to pitch. My logic was that it's more about the tax the ice on R&D presents each turn, I think. But I could be wrong about that. So if it's taxing me one more credit, I could actually run out at some point, I think. Whereas with the border control, it's like, yeah, you could pop it once at a clutch moment, but you first have to get to the point where you're threatening to score out, and there's a long way to go. I think the ice is more there to try to tax me on credits. Okay, we got... yeah, how badly do we want to get this Keeling? Can raindrops cut stone on it? Get through this, whatever this ice is. Might lose the Fenris, but could be a risk we gotta take. So we have enough to trash it now. No res. Okay. That was that was anticlimactic. I thought there was gonna be some res. Okay, so we just draw and flip. What's up, Damien? I haven't seen you before. So install credit. Yeah, so against this deck, we want to deny their economy. So we're going to trash the Maryland. All of their reses. So the problem with this deck before, with recent iterations, they may have solved it, but they have an econ issue. Yeah, so we'll get rid of the Maryland. Trash. Can draw again with douches. And install the daily cast. Yeah, Yoon, that could be the case. It's not I don't think it's the easiest of calls. It was just, yeah, they were... The problem is, as long as the Stargate lock is active, I will have seen most of the cards that they will be drawing, so I sort of know how many of the pieces they have. So in order to get to a point where that's not the case, they need to pop the border control preemptively, which may still be worth it, because they can just draw then and threaten it, so you might have a point. Okay, another Keeling. Okay. This Keeling still seems very trashable. It's probably Tithe or Aiki, as it wasn't rest before, or... So I would still like to keep the Fenris if I can. Click the Liberated twice. Run the Keeling. Okay, this is... The question is if you like pre-install the MK Ultra. makes it a lot safer. I think that's probably fine. Hit this one time. Run the Keeling. Okay, so it is anemone. And I guess we don't really need to draw, but I think it's still the best thing to do. So let's do that. Okay, nice to hear that. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying the game, Demian, as a new player. Very cool to have new people around enjoying the game. To Siat, or however that's pronounced, you can correct me. I think the fact that I was streaming on Wednesdays consistently was more of a coincidence. I don't really have a consistent stream schedule as of now. So yeah, basically it's gonna be random, basically based on how my schedule looks. I would like to have a solid one at some point, though. Okay, so I'll draw. So we want to hit the Liberated. I want to play the Gamble. I want to play the Fermenter. So if we now take Bladderwort damage, it's gonna likely hit the Breaker, which is okay. Shuffling back Keelings before Rashida Pop. Yeah, I have to complain a little bit. Like, Keeling is such a boring card. It's every deck that just revolves around like putting an asset in a remote and then protecting that asset, and then the asset wins you the game on its own. It was the same problem with the Draco decks. So for the same reason that Draco was banned, you should probably ban Keeling, but it's okay. It's not like it's impossible to beat, but it makes it so there's a lot of different archetypes that you need to beat in the meta. Or like the fact that you need to consider this also makes it harder to beat other decks because of all the cards you put in your deck just to be able to beat this. Not this particular build, but Keeling in general. Draw. There's laundry something here. So you can laundry server 5. I feel like that's a Reaper function. I guess I don't have to laundry it. It could be a moon pool or something, and then I would be maybe sad if I laundry it. So we just run normally. Snare is okay. Sting, that's also okay. And we draw. Yeah, exactly. With Sandberg and stuff, Sandberg can still be frustrating to play against, but yeah, it's not the same thing. Bladderwort. So we want to get rid of the Bladderwort. Raindrops caught stone. Do we play that when running here? Yeah, maybe, because if the ice is rest, we can get some cards. We don't need to pay to break it, I think. Yeah, so we just trash. And we So we know this is an upgrade in server 2. We're gonna draw. Oh, there's Apoc. Could be nice if we get it off. Of course, House of Knives makes it harder, but we do have 3 steel skins, so it might actually be really hard to get rid of this Apoc if we go for it. And this might actually be a nice board to Apoc on. Oh, losing the second Stargate would be annoying, but putting it down now before the Apoc, I don't like. Oh, actually, we need to pop the Fermenter before we go for this, right? So what do? We run server 2 first? Yeah, it could be Maverus, I guess. Either way, I guess we're popping it this turn because we're trying to prepare for Apoc. So let's try to go for this. Yeah, so we don't want this MK. And we access this. Okay, it's Keeling. Yeah, we don't trash it now. If they want us to trash it, they have to res it first, pay the 3 credits, which again, yeah, that's something they really need to fix in this build. Like, they're so low on credits constantly. Maybe you need, I don't know, maybe you need yeah, it could be you need, what's that one? Oh, I have to discard something, I guess. Did we go for the Stargate, even though we want to keep it? Just because it guarantees the Apoc, or it makes the Apoc a lot more likely. I feel like that could be... Yeah, screw it. Like, we might lose it anyway to net damage. I'm gonna go for that, try to make the Apoc play more likely, so we can get rid of this Keeling for free. Okay, let's see if it works. So I think we start by checking archives, because there might be a bunch of minus points in there. Oh lord. Sting. And Sting. We still have the Apoc. Okay, let's check R&D. Let's see if this House of Knives hits. We can't die to Snare, and all the Stings are gone. So it's relatively safe. We just need it to not hit the Apoc now. Oh, it did hit the Apoc. Okay. That's a little annoying. But, okay, so we spent all of those counters. Could run in and trash the Keeling now. No, actually, no. Could we? If Pryzek is triggered, they're at 0 credits. Pryzek is triggered, they go to 0 credits. They can't play End of the Line. Unless this is Rashido or something. I guess it could be. Would be an unnecessary way to go, I think. So we can probably trash it next turn instead. But yeah, that was unfortunate. So we start by checking the Keeling now, I guess. See what's up with the Pryzek first. Yeah, I'm not gonna pay to trash that. I don't think it's effective enough to warrant that. So we trash the Keeling. We draw. Get rid of the tag. We know there's an oboe in HQ, and we have a steel skin. So we're pretty close to closing this out. So far, Apoc list seems actually pretty decent against the PE list. Although I don't think that the list people are playing right now are optimal. Like, you need to solve the money issues in some way, and then it's gonna be way better, I think. Okay, installing a bunch of stuff on the board. Like, one of those could be oboes. I'm sort of assuming they're not. So I want to run HQ. Blood in the water. That's a good steal. We can just keep running. Anemone. Anemone. Do we run last click? It's what people are told not to do. Oh, we could run and trash the Maryland, I guess. Should probably been done earlier. That stops some potential scores from the board. So I think yes, we do that. Okay, it's tied, so we break it. And we get rid of the Maryland. Oh, but there's Rashida. Okay. Yeah, so now HQ is protected. It could be Moonpool to save the oboes as well. Yeah, not hitting the oboe was annoying. So what economy do we have left? Because now we are actually low on cash. We do have a liberated left. That would be nice. To not be completely out of money. Maybe we can chill for just one turn and take some cash and flip back Hoshiko. Maryland res, okay. So no Keeling res this turn. Mad dashing R&D here would be a that would be a wild play. To Axu. Yeah. I mean, if I get desperate enough, then sure. But so far, I think we're still in control. So yeah, kind of want to check this new server, whatever it is. Also want to get rid of the Maryland. Moonpool. Well, you can do some weird stuff with that. but I don't think it's worth the 3 credits to trash it. Just want to check top of R&D. Tithe. Yeah, this is not ideal. But okay, we get rid of the Maryland. Take $1. And we flip. So now we know there's Tithe. Probably Tithe that's going to go on R&D. Yeah, now the problem is just finding the last few points. We know there was Anemone as well. Okay, so we wanted to Keeling, so we pitched the orchestra. Oh yeah, it's true. Tithe was shuffled. Thanks everybody for pointing that out. That's a good point. Okay, so do we assume there's Anemone on HQ? I think so. So that would be 3 to break. Is it we draw and then run? We still have enough cash to get rid of the Keeling. Actually, we have Pinhole to get rid of Keeling. Do we still make the run on HQ first? I want to run there this turn, and I want to be able to steal an oboe if this is Anemone. So yeah, I'm gonna do this. Yeah, like, I would be very surprised if this is not Anemone, but I guess we don't know 100%. Because this, if we run HQ and the hand is filled with agendas, that could also trigger a moon pool when they don't really want to be doing that. Yeah, moon pool is used. And that's actually perfect. Yeah, so 2 oboes gone. And we access Diviner. Okay, so we know there's Diviner. Moonpool, can that place on any card? Yeah, so it doesn't have to be an advanceable card. Yeah, so Snare cannot be afforded. Arctica, of course, is a thing. I don't know that this deck plays Arctica. We would survive an Arctica, but we would go very low on cards. So I guess Pinhole doesn't make any sense, because we could just take the 1 damage from the Anemone instead of playing the Pinhole. Thinking if I wanna check this card or not. Are these decks suddenly playing Arctica Ciphers? There hasn't really been a window to score these cards. Okay. Raindrops here. Can let this fire. we actually lose the pinhole. So we hit the Prysic first. See if we take a tag. Thinking about Prysic. Prysic not used. Don't care about trashing it. Trash the Keeling. Okay, so we get the Liberated. And the question is do we check the Arctica? It is actually raining. Sorry if that's annoying. It's starting to hit the window. Okay. Or we just daily cast, and whatever this is, that's fine. Yeah, it's just I haven't seen any Arcticas, but and House of Knives would be really bad. Yeah, the worst punish is House of Knives. House of Knives would be bad. House of Knives is basically 4 damage, and we have 11 hit points left. Okay, I think it's okay. Wait, no. Wait. Do I really... No, I don't think... Do I play cards for actual money right now? Don't, right? Maybe the Liberated, but not the daily cast. Okay, I don't believe it's an Arctica. I'm just gonna run it. I don't believe it's Arctica. Oh, it's Prysic. But they don't use it. Okay. It would have been scary if they could, like, had a Rashida or something. So, okay, so we know server 11 is Prysic. Just clicking for money. I'm gonna do the same, but via this Liberated instead. I think that's the only... That's the last card I'm actually gonna use to get money. The rest is gonna be my hit points. Because I think I actually need this cash to get in. And also now we can flip back Hoshiko so we can get the money. We do not know what server 10 is, no. I'm guessing it's a moon pull or a Reaper function. Maybe it's time to check it on the next turn. It's possible that it's an agenda that's just been sitting there, or a snare or something. So snare is interesting that they're drawing. I feel like in this position you kind of, if you just click for credits, it can be quite tricky for me. I need to find an agenda somewhere. Okay, pitching something into archives. Could be a Spin Doctor play. So we check server 10. Reaper function, yep. This pitching seemed deliberate, so that's why I'm checking archives. Oh, all the Spin Doctors are gone. I guess Moonpool could work. Yeah. guess that's my bad. Yeah, if it's an agenda, I'll let it slide. And we'll try to hit centrals next turn, I think. Actually, funnily enough, we still have only seen one of the Apocs in the deck. Actually, top decking that now could be interesting. That could be a card that I actually want to play. Okay. So now might be the time to check centrals. So yeah, so we kind of knew that this was tied. We'll break it. Oboe for the game. Yes, finally. Okay, so we're 2-0 versus PE, so yeah. But again, I think these builds are not optimal. Yeah. I will do at least one more game. I'm gonna do a short break again, so I'll see you guys very soon. And welcome back, everybody, to rainy Sweden. We're gonna do some more Apoc Hoshiko, and I guess let's also mention how we feel about the deck. I feel like so far I feel like it's a decent build. Some things haven't come up yet, like whether the running hot is worth it or not. You can tweak the build in several ways. Usually the bane of this kind of deck is like really is Ag Infusion or some other kind of Glacier. This is Mulligan. Oh. I forgot to label the name, the game again. Okay, so sports. This should probably more than cool. Right. So yeah. So this should show that dynamic about how important it is to get Stargate early enough against sports. But also, there's a point where you might want to Apoc to reset their ice, so it's not that expensive to Stargate all the time. So I think a gamble and then checking remote to force the res. Oh yeah, and we want to trigger Hoshiko somewhere. So I guess we do it on HQ. And then we want to install the fermenter as early as possible. Okay, nice. So we already have some have a point. Okay, Rashida. That is a good card. Yeah, we're up against Beeve Bainbridge with a big B. I need to get a more exciting icon. I guess once the alt art comes out, I can use that as my icon or something. Okay, so yeah. We probably want to dig for breakers and Apoc right now. Otherwise, we can't do much. And we don't mind Hoshiko flipping back right now. So we deuces again. So we could pinhole this, but if it's an agenda, we can't get into the server. Anyway. So I guess that's not worth it. You could raindrops on this server just to get 2 credits and a card. That doesn't seem too bad. The other option is just sure gamble and clicking for credit. I kind of like the raindrops play, seeing another card right now. Nice. Okay, we got steel skin for the moshing now. So we get moshing the pinhole, the orchestra, and the steel skin. Okay, luckily it was just a trank. And these, if we can avoid it, we don't want to trash these with our hard-earned cash. We'd rather get rid of them using Apoc. Now, if this is an attempt to score, then there's a big incentive to put an agenda. To put another ice on this remote. Oh, drawing. Yeah, not the right ordering, but okay, no extra ice. Okay, so we want to pitch the orchestra. Oh, we have an Apoc now. Oh, but we don't have the breakers though. So, yeah. So we just check this. Mega pre, okay. it was the mega pre bait. We can trash the trunk. It might actually be worth it because it's gonna take some time before we can Apoc. I think we need to find more breakers, and we can install the daily casts. People have learned to sniff out the Apocs. I think a big tell is if you're playing a normal sized Hoshiko and there's raindrops cut stone, and you see like a bunch of deuces just events, it's probably Apoc. Okay, 2 cards in the remote. I think it might be too early to pop the fermenter. So we draw. Can daily cast another fermenter. I'm sort of okay with it if they purge here, because we're trying to buy time anyway. And we have a bunch of daily cast ticking down. So every turn we can buy gets us closer to finding the breakers in time for the Apoc. Okay, so there's a Trankrid. And there's another upgrade there as well. I guess that could be Maverus, which might be popped now after start of turn. Oh. You can pop it after they tick up, right? I'm pretty sure. There has to be a payability window there. Okay, so I have to manually fix that. I actually don't know why that worked. I said 1 counter. I should have written 0, but whatever. it worked, so I'm not going to question it. Okay. Getting purged with Maverus, though, kind of hurts. But I guess it's still 3 credits. So we want to draw. Good time to laundry archives before our fermenters actually have virus counters on them. Using Trank to draw. Yeah, so the fact that there isn't a second ice on the server means that it's not safe to try to score out of the remote. So you sort of have to fast advance if you're going for scores. Okay, so I'm guessing this is Spin Doctor. We want to get rid of that. It might actually be worth it to go in here, check and trash the Trank. It is a lot of money, but we have a lot of money, but we don't have a lot of time. So if we can make it this game a bit slower for him, it might be worthwhile. Hyperloop. Okay, that is giving him money. But yeah, Biotic is still really expensive. And Audacity with this big of a hand is really not an option. This makes me wonder what the second ice was, because it seems like it would have been very useful to put that on the remote. It's like, yes, sports can fast advance, but if you can get some scores without having to fast advance, then that makes your game a lot better. Maybe respecting Apoc too much. Why not Raindrops R&D? I guess I'm kind of scared of drafters being rest. Getting Tranks and Rashida's back would be bad for me. So there's actually some ice here that I'm kind of scared of face checking. Oh, this... Wow, this can't be correct, right? I don't understand what's going on, but it could be like all agendas and no fast advance and no ice. Yeah, of course I don't know this build, so this might be like more combo reliant than a lot of sports. But in general, you don't want to try to force the combo unless you absolutely have to. I feel like in this situation you can just, I don't know. It really depends on what's in their hand, but like put a tiny point agenda in the remote, or just, yeah, I'm not sure. All right, good game. Let's do another one. I guess let's have a quick look at the list. Yeah, I don't really have any thoughts on changing this right now. Feels okay, so I'll just continue the way I am. Well, to Jai, yeah, it could be. I guess it could be a fast break list. Yes. But yeah, I feel like there has to be, like, do you need fast break at that very moment? Because you can wait for it a little bit more. Put a tiny agenda in the remote if you have one, I guess. Okay, we're up against Ob. Recently there was a fast advance, kind of rushy Ob that did well. Also a problem. I like that we have Apoc and I like that we have Liberated. Deuces is fine, so I'm gonna keep this. There was a rush Ob that did well recently, and a problem with playing against Ob as Apoc in general is border control. They can actually use it and just get another ice with it. So not only are they making it so you need more clicks to do what you want to do, but yeah, you also you're also not taxing them on the border control, so it's easier for them to stop Apocs, or cheaper. So we need to keep that in mind when going for the Apoc place. Of course, if there's like one border control and you run the server that has the border control first, then they have to fire it right away, and then it's really not that taxing on you. Do we just overdraw here and pitch? I think so, yeah. So we overdraw and then we double click this. Yeah. So If we are lucky, then there is no code gates on HQ or R&D. Then we could Apoc like right away. It's unlikely, but I feel like it's possible. So we can, I guess we can also try to force the res on the remote. Yeah, spin doctor trying to shuffle these back. I guess that should have been been the read all along. Sometimes I play a bit unfocused on stream. So we still want to run this and flip Hoshiko. So we can draw. Oh. Do we moshing now? Would have to pitch the Fenris. Or wouldn't have to. I could pitch the Apoc. I kind of don't want to do that though. Okay, I don't know if this is correct, but I'll go for this one. Oh yeah, it's true. Border control can get Afshar, so that makes it very unlikely, I guess, that we'll pull off the Apoc. Now that you mention that. You mushing the Apoc? Yeah, I guess. I'm not as convinced. I mean, yeah, Fenris. Do you keep him just to be Sable? I guess the extra click from Sable could be good. Maybe the play was just install Fenris to make and make it Sable, and then run Archives. That was probably the correct play. MK, not really what we want. Moshing, so we're in a similar dilemma now. Yeah, I think we're moshing these. And run Archives. Because we don't want to just pitch cards. Might as well use the moshing before we pitch a card. Well, so the Fenris value is like if the Fenris value is 5 credits or more, you have to consider the fact that it's 3 credits to install. And if you install it before the Apoc, you will lose that Fenris. But yeah, I think yes, installing it for the Sable has to be worth the value, because you don't you makes the Apoc much cheaper is probably your point. Okay, Okay, this is interesting. Because they might not want to res on HQ if we play Raindrops Cut Stone. So let's try that. Oh, it is Afshar. Okay. Interesting. So we get 2 cards. And that means we can moshing for an orchestra. No, you can only pop border control during a run, I believe. And only, yeah, only on a run on the server border control is protecting. Is there another way to do this? Sure, gamble orchestra maybe. Wait 1 more turn before popping the fermenters. Yeah, I think that's fine. We can chill a little bit, I think, to get the fermenter value. Okay, Corp is acting. Oh, it's popping the Mavers now. I guess in that case, might as well try to go for the Apoc right now. So this could be border control to stop that, but it's not. And Spin Doctor, I think we trash. So okay, we go for HQ. This is interesting. Do we just get to Apoc here? Audacity in HQ, we should write that down. Already. Oh yeah, I exit Spin Doctor on Mavers, yep. Nope. Okay, so we get to Apoc. Yeah, that was... It was interesting because the Maverick sort of forced us into something that seems positive for us. Okay, just a concession. All right, that worked out. I wonder if that's the obelisk that was recently posted. Let me check. Deck lists. Got some recent ob. This one. That's what I'm thinking about. No, there's no thimble rig in this one. Okay, I don't know what kind of ob it was then, but yeah, I got time for one more game, so let's do another game. And let's get some water. That was a strange game, because I feel like the fact that I was playing Apoc was very heavily telegraphed, but they weren't playing around Apoc. I think. If you can't stop the Apoc, you might want to at least force the breakers to be installed. So actually, what do you mean new cycle was announced? like right now? Is this a null signal? I guess I gotta check this out. Null signal. There we go. I guess while we wait, we can check this out. Announcing the liberation cycle. Oh, a game. Sebastian, a teammate, actually. So this hand has a lot of economy. Seems like a decent starting hand. Probably keepable. Yeah, you didn't get to see my my reaction to whatever was in the article. What? I guess after the game we can check. I don't know if there were any. I don't know if they showed any new cards, but that would be really cool if they did. Apoc already. Guess we can draw again before laundry. Laundry R&D. Spin Doctor. I guess Spin Doctor is one of the most annoying cards for this deck, given that we want to Stargate things. So it might be worth trashing. And yeah, also now that we have Raindrops, we might consider playing that on HQ. Hedge Fund Ice R&D. I guess Drafter would be annoying for Spin Doctor. Yeah, we might as well just liberate it this turn to flip Hoshiko back. We're not in a rush yet. Try to match the pace of the corp. Okay, now he's going for a remote. So Raindrops cut stone on this makes sense, because there's probably incentive to rest this. Oh, he's thinking. Hagen. Yeah, so it's nice to force that rest for sure. Oh, to Melias in the chat, I think the fact that I installed the orchestra in that scenario was just a mistake. The only reason you would install it from your hand is if you're scared about arc lockdown, actually. Yeah, so that's just a mistake. So let's laundry here. Get the other liberated down. So, and also good to point out. But especially, I try to play as precisely as I can when streaming, but sometimes I play a little bit more sloppy because there's more things going on. Okay, so this is pretty telegraphed score. Basically, if I can get a paperclip, I can probably get in here. Laundry archives. to make sure we still draw, because money is not a problem. Yeah, I think just Laundry Archives. This might be one of those PD style sports with all of the upgrades on the remotes. Oh, never mind, Malapert's. Oh yeah, it is. Scoring Arcology even. See, I don't think you can justify this card, but it's interesting. So you get 3 extra cards and you can't overdraw. Yeah, so we know it's not Jupstad now. So Steelskin, probably correct. Raindrops, I think. Okay, let's see if we can get into R&D. There's Drafter. Oh, we get a steal. Okay, so what I was thinking is I can Running Hot, and if I don't lose the Apoc, I can Apoc this turn. I actually hit the Steelskin. Okay, so finally the Running Hot becomes relevant. So we run Archives. We hit a Liberated once. And we Apoc. So I have to discard something. And I guess that's going to be probably Pinhole. Now we actually have no breakers because we turned the MK Ultra face down. But also he has no eyes, so... Yeah, the Pinhole is the... Oh, I have to discard 2 cards. Maybe Mad Dash? No, Fermenter, because I have so much money. I'm more concerned about... Yeah, the other stuff is draw and combo stuff, so... That's probably a lot better. Yeah. Because mainly the way he can win now is to try to rush me out. So we could DJ for Steve, run HQ for 2 Steelskin, and then moshing for some really good draw. So I'll do that. We get some very good accesses. So I think we moshing these, keep the other moshing for more draw. Then we just moshing again. We can pitch a paperclip. Okay, so we're threatening Apoc, but probably he's going to score this turn. Yeah, and this is bad because now he can win off of this. try to find any agendas in HQ, I suppose. We are really bad this game at finding Stargates and... Okay, so we know there's biotic labor. Check the top. Trank is okay. There's no money for a biotic yet. So let's not go full crazy this turn. Paperclip. Yeah, the money doesn't matter, so I'll just draw again. Orchestra is nice, but Stargate is really what we need. So let's pitch the bin breakers and a daily cast. Yeah, so I did return the wrong card with Steve. That was a bad move. So we know there's Tranquility Grid. He's drawing though. Oh, there's Hedge Fund. Yeah, not sure what to do here. If we just get more draw. And we hope that there's no 3-2 in hand. Tranquility Grid. So we Steel Skin. Still no Stargate. Oh, that's crazy. Okay. Check that this isn't an agenda. Tranquility, okay. And we just deuces. And we might lose here, but can't keep checking for singles in the hand. We just gotta hope that he doesn't have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Biotic Labor. Yeah, we just didn't find it. Yeah, that was a shame. This happens sometimes, like all the breakers on the bottom. Like if we had the breakers to contest this GFI, it's really hard for him to close this game out. Actually, now I can't remember if I checked R&D last turn. I should have if I didn't. Just curious if it was in hand all along. Because yeah, not checking R&D is probably a mistake. But interesting list. So Arcology helps you find your pieces. But at the same time, yeah, a lot of 2-pointers can mean more vulnerability. I guess that means that there's no Mega Pre. Yeah, it was hard, really hard to win this without the Stargate. Um, yeah, so that shows how important the Stargate is in these matchups, and also finding your breakers early enough. That can be a bit of a coin toss because the games go so fast. Some other matchups you like usually find them eventually, but here you might not have the time. Um, so I'm doing one last game. That's gonna be the last game for the stream. All right, outfit again. And this is a bad hand, so we're gonna mulligan this. Exactly. We gotta end the stream with a winning game to save face. Actually, are the asset spam PE games that enjoyable? I don't know. They were quite nice. So we can laundry R&D and be at a yeah, we're gonna be at a high enough credit count to allow for fermenter install. The only punish is double econ HHN, and even in that case we survive, so it's an okay risk to take. Yeah, if outfit has to spend a bunch of time early clicking for credits, then it's basically, yeah, slowly losing the game. Draw one more. Not what I wanted to see, because I feel like I have to moshing. Stargate. Yeah, we want to keep the Stargate. So we're moshing the Fenris. We don't moshing the moshing. Oh, we have another Stargate now. Yeah, I think now we have to be... We don't want to moshing the Apoc either. So we just click for credit. Yeah. We wait for something better to moshing on the next turn. J. Murray, like, in what sense do you mean you don't care about the tag and bag? Like, do you mean that you don't get the tags because you have enough cash, or that you deny their kill with Stargate? Because I definitely think that it is scary, especially early in the game, the threat of Econ HHN. So I'll draw. I don't think I need the running hot. So we can moshing now. We can run archives. There might be a Mavers, but... Okay, this is just... Any deck with hostile architecture is jank. You heard it here first. Hot take. Yeah. I think unfortunately... Well, it could still be that this deck is somehow very teched against Apoc. But yeah, for outfit, like you really don't want to be just sitting like this. The whole point of the ID is that you're really good at going fast. This looks more like a glacier build, like if you were playing Earth Station or something. I have played against Builder of Nations on Hostile Architecture, but I haven't found it very threatening. It's like a grinder deck that if you miss enough times, you run out of cards, but normally you don't. Okay. So might be time to pop the fermenter now. We draw. We can overdraw. Yeah, we can pop this and put another fermenter down. Okay, we don't have a sentry breaker. We could put down the paperclip and run here. A trebuchet would fire. Yeah, I'm not sure what we should be concerned about here. There could be snares in the deck. But yeah, I don't know, it seems very ice heavy. It might be hostile architecture out here too. It is snare and hostile architecture is rest, but there's no reason to trash the snare. So let's not do that. So we lost 2 of our Apocs, which is annoying. But funnily enough, the architecture is like might actually be pretty nice Apoc hate. So I think we try to hit the hostile. Well, wait, sorry. We don't really want to lose the second Stargate, so we might want to wait. We can clear the tag so we don't lose the Stargate to an end of the line or something. Yeah, you wouldn't play hostile architecture in Earth Station, no. So I guess we're betting that the other one is also some kind of trap. Not sure what the best way to do this is. Trebuchet would not be the end of the world if we run here. Would lose one of these cards. I guess only the fermenter is really valuable. Could raindrops cut stone as well. So draw first. Ooh, MK. Guess that makes it a safer bet. On the other hand, if we get to trash the MK, yeah, we're not worried about Trebuchet again, so. And if the MK is trashed by damage, that's better. So it's Bulwark. We get to keep the Stargate, so that's good. Going according to plan so far. And I think we just draw back up, I guess. And we can check this card next turn. Reaper function for just to grind us down, I guess. It's a very expensive way to play grinder. So I guess they could leverage too big to fail to get money back up to be able to afford to do this over and over again. But I still have 19 cards left, so I don't think it's ever going to work. And finding an Apoc now would be really juicy because we can destroy 6 eyes, and these aren't really restable at the moment. I guess now they are. They are. So Steel Skin, I think. There's an Apoc. So I think daily casts, hit the fermenter. Oh, I should have hit the liberated. Yeah, so we wait for the cast to tick down and then we Apoc, I think. Maybe the cast shouldn't have been installed so that we can Apoc right away. Okay. Yeah, there's I would to Jai, I would guess that there's some end of the line in there. So we just chill, I guess. Could also be a bad idea to chill if there's another hostile architecture. We could lose our Stargate. Even then, I don't know. I have a hard time seeing this fail. Okay, now there's enough cards where I feel like the Apoc is justified. No matter what. So they could still be Snare and HQ. So I think we run HQ first. So if we hit a Snare, then we know that we can't Apoc. Trebuchet. Can't steal or trash, that's fine. It actually doesn't really do anything. We can install the MK for free because we have the 2 bad pub. But we might need to pay to get through the other one. So it's okay. I guess if there's Snare, we do want to be able to trash it. So we could just pay to beat the trace. I think that's fine. Oh, that's a good hit. Need to run R&D. Border control, which will have to be popped to stop Apoc. Okay, it is popped. So question if we check the remotes. I don't think so. We're not that scared of a score. We're not that scared of a Reaper function. I mean, we could lose our Apoc, which would suck. Or we don't want to hit a Snare. I think it's fine to just click for credits. Oh, it's a Nazif? Yeah, I guess. Okay, we did lose the Apoc. So I don't know. I might be playing too carefully. At the same time, though, he doesn't have cards, so I can just install the Stargate and hit it. Bulwark, hostile takeover. Trash the Bulwark and go in. Yeah, I think we go in and trash everything. So they can't grind us down with the hostile architecture. But yeah, still with a decent amount of cards. So I'm not too worried. All the architectures are gone. Okay, so there's not enough money to trigger Snare. So I will check this in case it's Spin Doctor. It's Rashida. And the same goes for this other card, whatever it is. Money is basically not a concern anymore because we have so much bad pub. Another Aziv, there we go. And then we can Stargate. And, oh, we got a Snare and a Broad Daylight, so we can trash the Snare and go in and steal the Broad Daylight. GG. All right, very good. Okay, good game. All right, that's gonna be the last game for today, but I guess we can check if this announcement has any cards. Will the cycle feature? Lots of new connections. Cycle of size ups, cool. Shape a run events that target HQ. It might be something that they really want, if it's a good one, as they're really good at targeting R&D, but oftentimes you don't need to protect HQ heavily against Shaper, so that's kind of cool. Although, you know, people could make complaints that you're breaking the color pie of the factions, but I think it's fine for the factions to have different kinds of run events on the centrals, as long as it's unique to the faction. We've got a new 3-point agenda for every core faction. That's going to be exciting. 3-point agendas are like hard to get the balance right, where it's not too bad or too good. It's just the right amount. Yeah, so we have some crazy 3-point agendas. Then there are some really bad ones. Getting the ones that are perfectly in the middle, that's kind of tricky. But I mean, maybe you don't want them in the middle. Maybe you want them to be a little bit more exciting. Okay, new weapon cards. So I guess that Asmund Pundlat will have more targets to search for. Okay. Subcard supporting both the clone and Byrod subtypes. Oh, interesting. That how do you even do that? Aren't Bioroids mechanical? Or no, wait, Bioroid, does that? I don't know. I'm kind of uneducated on the lore, so someone tell me how it's possible to have a Bioroid clone. First Bioroid Corp card outside of HB. First card with both the clone and Bioroid subtypes. Oh, a Bioroid outside of HB. Cool. Oh, is Adam not a Bioroid? I mean, I think he... Oh, yeah, no. He is. Okay. He is. But I guess they mean outside of HB on the corpse side, since the runner actually has a Bioroid card already. The rest... Okay, no cards. So we don't have a lot to go on. I'm not going to read the whole thing on stream, but you guys go and do that. Was was nice having you all around. Thanks for joining me. Yeah, subscribe if you want to see more, of course, as usual. And I know I missed last week. I'm still aiming to have this be a weekly thing. So I should be back next week. This weekend I'm going to play Swedish Nationals. So next stream might be me talking about the decks I played for Swedish Nationals, but not set in stone yet. But that could be the next thing. Anyway, anyway, nice to see everyone, and yeah, catch you next time.